Today, I'm going to show you how to do this type on animation in DaVinci Resolve. It's actually pretty easy to do. It shouldn't take that much time for you to execute on it and get it looking the way you want it to. First, we need to grab a text node and connect it to a background and a media out. Second, we're going to put some text in here and we're going to change the color so we can actually see it. So now we have the text, but nothing is going on. So if we want to get it to type on, then we want to come over here to the text box, right click, choose follower. That will create a modifier. The modifier will be up here next to the tools tab. So if we click on that, we'll be able to look at all of the different options that we have for typing on. The first thing that we want to do is set a delay and then come over to the shading tab. And at the beginning of the timeline, we want to set the opacity to 0 and then go forward a frame and set the opacity to 1. And so now you'll start to see that it will type on over the time of the timeline, over the length of the timeline. That way, we now have control over how we want to type on, and we can choose many different things. So we can say automatic, so it's just going to go type on left to right. Or we can say it's going to go right to left. So now it will go from the back forward, back to front, back right to left. Or we can say we want it to go from the inside out. Or even the fun one that makes it look a little bit more like a spy movie is this random 1 by 1. And then to get the nice other thing where we get the little box that animates with it, we want to come over to the tools tab again, open up the shading, go to the third tab here where it's black shadow, enable that. And instead of making the appearance, the letter here, we want to make it a block. So now it fills all of the blocks here with like a black shadow. And we want to take the extend vertical down to negative 0.5 all the way. And we may want to bring the softness up a little bit. It's up to you. Like, it's all up to you. And then we come back over to the modifiers tab. And now we can go to this third tab here. And we can adjust the opacity here. Now, with this one, you want to come over to the spline panel here and go a couple frames, go 1 frame past the first one and set a keyframe to 0, then come back to frame 0 here, go back to frame 0, set it to 1, and then go to the next frame and set it to 0. So now you'll start to see it type on and fade as it goes. So if you look here, it's typing on and fading as it goes. Now it looks like it's typing on by itself. And now if you don't want it to look like a spy movie, you can just switch it back to left to right, and now it will just type on. And say maybe you didn't want it to look as soft, you wanted to make it look a little bit more rough, you can set the softness down to the regular softness or down to 0, and now you got this really rough typeface that's very straight, and it's just typing everything on like a typewriter would. So that's how you do a very simple type on animation in DaVinci Resolve Fusion.